The following is a special production of WOBL and WDLW Sports. On Facebook, on YouTube, on air, and online. The Lorain County Sports Network is your home for high school football. Week 4 of the football season brings conference play. Every game counts for or against at least one of your team goals. Good evening, I'm Don Vincent, and this is the Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show. You know Stewart's, 468 Cleveland Street. Shop smart, shop local, shop Stewart's TV and Appliance. Thanks for joining us. As always, the Lorain County Sports Network is all over the place. 5 games in total. Yep, we're streaming, but we're also the only local radio signals covering high school football. It's good to have you along. Let's take a look at tonight's Lorain County football schedule and set you up for the games you'll hear on the network. Let's start with games outside the 2 big conferences. Lorain is on the road and into the Greater Cleveland Conference in Euclid. The 1 and 2 Titans have been hit or miss thus far this season. The Panthers are also 1 and 2, although their games have tended to be a little bit closer. A 2-point loss followed by a 2-point win and a 13-point loss. The long ride doesn't help the Titans. Keep the game close though, and they give themselves a shot. One non-conference game on the agenda tonight is one of our stream games. The 3-0 Vermilion Sailors are hot to start the season. Week 1 was a 1-point win, the other 2 have been blowouts. The Sailors traveled to Elyria to take on the Panthers. Elyria Catholic has struggled, going over the first 3 weeks. Despite the difference in records, this may play out to be a close game. Check this one out on our YouTube stream with Bull Barch and newcomer Will Hicks. Search Lorain County Sports Network. Checking out the Southwestern Conference, this week begins the grind. Amherst opens their remodeled field and finally gets to play at Spitzer Auto World Stadium. The 2-1 Comets host Berea Mid-Park. This one will come down to defense. Who can stop the other? It'll be close, 10 points or less. Staying in the SWC, Avon Lake travels to Midview. The Shoremen are 0-3, but consider who they've played. D1 Strongsville, whose only loss came in OT, perennial powerhouse Lake Catholic, and top-ranked Highland. Don't get caught up in the record. The Middies are 3-0 and have looked pretty good in all 3 games. The Middies seem to be complete. Let's see how they do in conference play. Despite the records, Avon Lake might be favored in a close one. Elyria continues their pursuit of win number 1 in Olmsted Falls against the 2-1 Bulldogs. It's going to be a significant challenge for the Pioneers to find that elusive win. Falls' only loss was to D1 Mentor. Their wins were over Brunswick and Strongsville. This one will likely not be close. The last SWC game of local interest is the one you'll hear on WDLW. I'll be there along with Dave Grenczynski. Avon takes the short drive south to North Ridgeville to take on the 3-0 Rangers. Avon finished up their non-conference gauntlet at 2-1. The Rangers are 3-0 with 3 pretty convincing wins. Check this one out on 98.9 FM, 1380 AM, and online at WDLWradio.com. Shifting gears and into the Lorain County League, the only game not on the network is an intriguing one. 2-1 Oberlin is in LaGrange to take on the 1-2 Keystone Wildcats. And yeah, those records are correct. The Phoenix wins have been close, but they're still wins. The Cats' losses have not really been all that close. Despite all of that, history and strength of non-conference schedule favors Keystone. The rest of the LC8 games are on the network. Let's start with our Lorain County Friday Night Lights on Facebook Game of the Week. Richard Flowers and his team will be at Firelands. The Falcons are looking for their first win. Well, so is Brookside. Both teams have given up a ton of points early in the season. Whichever team can find their defense claims their first win of the season. Check out Lorain County Friday Night Lights on Facebook for reports on this one and scoring updates from around the county. Our second stream of the night comes your way from Columbia, and record-wise, it's a good matchup. The 3-0 Raiders host the 2-1 Wellington Dukes. I'm not sure that this one is the blowout that some think it is. I'm counting on a game that isn't decided until the 4th quarter. Dave Rivera and Jared Viancourt will be on the call on the YouTube stream. Don't forget, search Lorain County Sports Network to find this one. Our final game on the network is on WOBL, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM, on WOBLradio.com, as well as on the app. 1-2 Black River Pirates visit the 0-3 Clearview Clippers. Gary Tollett will be in Lorain along with Brian DeVito for this one. This may be the best matchup in the conference tonight. I think it's going to be a close one, less than a touchdown difference. So there's your schedule for tonight. The Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show continues with the Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Your partner for growth is Buckeye Community Bank. One more quick review of the games on the Lorain County Sports Network tonight. Lorain County Friday Night Lights on Facebook will be at the Brookside Firelands game. Our YouTube streams will feature Vermilion at Elyria Catholic and Wellington visiting Columbia. On WDLW, we'll be in North Ridgeville. The Rangers will host the Avon Eagles, and on WOBL, Black River will be at Clearview. More pregame is on the way. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome in to the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week, live here on YouTube. Dave Rivera joined alongside my partner Jared Vaillancourt as we bring you some LC8 conference football as it's week 4. You know what that means. Crosstown rivalries are in full effect as the Wellington Dukes are 2-1, coming to Columbia Station to take on the 3-0 Columbia Raiders. We're going to go and start our Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show where we sit down and get ready to talk to both of the coaches before this game. And we've had some great conversations in the pregame with both of these head coaches about their team. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll dive into those Coaches Corner presented by Buckeye Community Bank. Make sure you subscribe. It's the Lorain County Sports Network Game of the Week, thanks to Legacy Home Finance.
Welcome to the Coaches Corner, presented by Buckeye Community Bank. Today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. Hi, everybody. Jared Vinecourt, joined alongside Wellington Dukes head coach Rob Howes. Coach, thank you for taking for some time to join me here this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Coach, let's talk about your 2-1 start. You guys are off to a good start in your first 3 games. How would you assess your first 3 games as a whole?
It's a start that we had hoped for. You always want to start the season strong, and it gives you hope when you go into conference play. And we've gotten better every week. We had a tough one week 1, and we've been able to clean some things up, take care of the football, be more disciplined, and just start coming together as a team. So, feel good about where we are going into conference play, but. That's the great thing about football. Sometimes you have to have a short memory because we're going to be tested right out of the gate here with Columbia.
Let's talk about your offense to start out. Your quarterback, Gavin Wacker, the senior, starting for you guys this season, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. How do you think he's done so far for your offense?
I think he's done great. Again, I knew he would be fine after that Western Reserve game that you guys were out for, and he had a rough one in his first one, but he's had 0 turnovers since then, and has really taken care of the football and managed the offense well. He hasn't gotten a chance to make a lot of passes, but he's when he has, he's completing them and moving the chains and doing what we need out of that position.
One of his favorite targets is wide receiver Connor Kinser. Kinser with 5 receptions for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. What have you seen from Kinser so far up to this point?
Yeah, he's been dynamic and explosive, and one of those bigger plays was just on a little, bubble route that he was able to make a move and go to the house. And, it's nice to see guys get rewarded for the time that they put in the off season. And, Kinser was one of those guys that was reliable in the weight room and put in the time and effort. And, it's great to see that production coming from that position, especially after graduating such a great receiver last year.
Let's move to your defense. Let's talk about star middle linebacker for you, Trey Moore, coming back from an injury a season ago. What have you seen from Moore leading your defense this season?
Yeah, he has picked up right where he left off last year. He's almost got, 20 tackles a game. I think it's 58 total tackles and through 3 games, and just has a nose for the football and one of those tough competitors. What I would say an old school football guy, and the game's kind of evolving and getting played in space, and he's a hard-nosed tackler and can play sideline to sideline, and gets us lined up and adjusted defensively has really helped us, kind of lock down in weeks 2 and 3 and be better on that side of the ball. He's, really the heart and soul of everything we're doing right now because he's even getting a bigger role offensively. So, again, another kid, though, that has earned it. He's the only kid that has perfect attendance in the off season 2 years in a row. And it's a testament to him bouncing back from that injury as a sophomore and putting in the work. And you really like to see kids get rewarded for that. You try to preach it as a coach to trust the process, and nothing great comes easy. And he's a kid that has bought into that, and he's reaping the benefits of it.
You also have free safety Alex Frank. Really done well for you guys last season. He had 6 interceptions in 8 games. How has he done for you this season? What have you liked from him?
Unfortunately, Alex went down in week 1, tore an ACL. So, We've been out without Alex these last couple of weeks, but his leadership and energy that he brings to the team is invaluable. You know, he's there coaching the guys. We've had him actually in practice stand in the secondary with the safety and help them out, and you know, he's taken to that. So yeah, everyone on a football team has a role, whether they're playing or not, and it's great to see Alex continue to be a captain. He was an elected captain this year, and lead his team and bring energy, and you know, make sure that the guys that are filling in for him are, you know, trying to do everything that he would be doing if he was out there.
That's great that Alex is being a great teammate, even though he can't play. He's also was your starting kicker. Who is kicking for you now that Alex is out due to injury?
Yeah, actually, Gavin Wacker has stepped into that role, and he's done a phenomenal job. He's averaging about 38 yards a punt. He's hit 6 or 7 extra points. And, you know, he's really done a nice job in the kicking game. We were able to get a surprise onside kick last week to kind of create momentum when we were at Plymouth, and it led to another score. So Gavin's Wacker's also taken over those responsibilities and done a phenomenal job with our special teams as well.
Coach, as you mentioned at the top of the interview, you're facing Columbia this weekend, a top team in the LC8. They made it to the third round of the playoffs last year. They love to run the ball. How do you plan to stop Columbia's run game?
You have to be disciplined. Again, Coach Mike Rice does a great job with his squad, and since he took over, he's put in, you know, the midline veer, you know, very similar to what teams in the SWC's got to see with Homestead Falls. And in order to stop that defense, or that offense, you have to have a disciplined defense. You have to be option sound and make sure that you're doing your job. You have to do your 1/11th and fly the football. And, you know, we know they're going to key Trey and send guys at Trey, so we need the other guys making sure that, you know, we're getting those ball carriers down. They have some talented backs, although they're without their top returner from last year in Stoffe. You know, they're not missing a beat. Mangy's playing a great quarterback, is one heck of an athlete. And, you know, again, we've got our probably toughest test of the year in our first conference game.
Coach, before we go, we like to do a segment called 3 and Out, ask 3 questions to you, get to know a little bit more about you so Lorain County can get to know a little bit more about you. First question, who's your favorite football player?
Oh, that's tough. I would say of all time, it's Bruce Smith. I was always a Bruce Smith fan growing up.
That's a great pick. Great pick. We talked about it a little bit before going on air. You are a Lorain County alum. You went to North Ridgeville High School, graduated there in 2006. You also played at John Carroll University in your college days. What's your favorite football memory of all time from your career?
My favorite football memory of all time. I tell my guys all the time, you know, obviously I want everyone going and play college, but there's nothing like Friday night football. You know, playing in college is one heck of an experience, and you know, I want my guys to experience that, but nothing like the Friday night lights. And definitely my number one memory is winning a championship at Ridgeville as a senior in 2005. It was a classic Mud Bowl game. You know, the stadium's not even there anymore on the corner 83 and Center Ridge. We ended up beating Midview 21-20 in overtime to secure a conference championship. So that will always live on in infamy in my head, and especially the guys that I graduated with. It's one of the first things we talk about when we get together was that night.
The good old days when the stadium was right next to that old middle school. I think it was over like 90 years old before they finally built the academic center.
Yeah, the great old days. You know, it's crazy to drive through Ridgeville now and see how much it's changed in 20 years. But you know, I'm happy for everything that's happening there and for their team, and you know, it's great for that community.
Last question before we let you go, Coach. What's your favorite sport besides football?
Oh man, I'd have to say golf, because getting older and being a former athlete now, you're banged up and beat up a little bit, and golf is one of the few things I can get out and still do. So I enjoy some golf.
Coach, we appreciate the time, and good luck tonight against Columbia.
Thanks. Appreciate everything you guys are doing for high school sports. It's awesome.
Absolutely, Coach. That was head coach Rob Howes of the Wellington Dukes. You're listening to the Coach's Corner presented by Buckeye Community Bank. Today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. When we come back, we'll have head coach Mike Rice of the Columbia Raiders give his thoughts on tonight's matchup.
Welcome into the Coach's Corner presented by Buckeye Community Bank. Today and tomorrow, your partners for growth. Our Week 4 matchup features a Lorain County 8 League as the Wellington Dukes travel to Columbia to take on the Raiders. Joining us now is the head coach of the Columbia Raiders, Mike Rice. Coach, thank you so much for giving us some time today before kickoff. Are you ready for the start of conference play tonight?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Absolutely ready to go. Ready for a new season here, and we're looking forward to it.
You guys come into tonight's matchup, Coach, with a perfect 3-0 record. Tell us what you have been most improved with your team in that 3-0 record.
Well, I think a lot of that goes to our defense and how well they're playing. We're holding teams to limited drives, and we've got a lot of negative plays and creating a bunch of turnovers. And Ambrose Beach has been at the forefront of that. He's averaging almost 10 tackles a game, and he's a lot of tackle for losses. We're getting great linebacker play, and then they're kind of creating things for our secondary and getting big plays in the back end as well.
The defense comes in, Coach, only allowing 6 points per game with 2 shutouts under your belt. Who are some other guys that stick out to you on that defensive unit?
Well, I think Jose Rivera, who's been a leader for us, he's really stepped up and done a great job on that side of the ball. Wesley Sanders, a kid that sophomore that is playing inside linebacker for us and really doing good things, and and then Xavier Hendon also at outside linebacker.
Let's take a look at the 8 seniors on this year's roster, Coach. Can you talk about them and how they've been contributing so far for you?
Yeah, so Jose is the first one that comes to mind. As I just mentioned, he's doing a great job on both sides of the ball. So I already talked about his defense, but he's scored a bunch of touchdowns for us. Last week he kind of broke out, first 100-yard rushing game and 3 touchdowns. So he's doing a really good job. He's been a great leader for us. We got 2 senior offensive tackles in Brady Molnar and Sam Andrews, who've both been doing a great job up front. And so we're happy with where our senior Andrew Sorensen's another name. He doesn't have great stats in the stat lines, but what he does outside of the stats is enormous for us. His blocking's been great. Jacob Rust is in the same situation, where they just do so much that doesn't get in the stat lines.
Offense comes in averaging 35 points per game. You got Logan Mangy at quarterback, a dual threat, Coach. Talk about how impressive your Raiders offense has been.
Yeah, Logan really does a great job for us as far as getting us in the right play and then executing the play. He has a lot to do running the triple option. He has a lot to look at. He has a lot of quick decisions to make and getting the ball in the right person's hand. And he's really grown into being a great quarterback for us, and still has room to grow, obviously, and time to do that. But we're really happy with where he's at, and where he's taken us with this offense.
Let's focus on tonight's matchup against the Wellington Dukes. Can you scout that team for us, and what are you planning on to try to stop the Wellington Dukes tonight, Coach?
Well, it starts with their run game. They want to run the football, and they're pretty good at it, and we're going to have to stop the run to beat them. And then once we get them, hopefully we can get them one-dimensional and throwing the football. But it's going to start up front, and it's going to start with our linebacker play in stopping the run. And then offensively, we just have to, one of the early problems we were having was too many negative plays. And offensively, we just have to make sure we stay on schedule and take advantage of what they're giving us, and making sure that, we know we're calling the right plays as coaches and getting in the right plays when we need to against their defense. But they fly around on defense, and they're a very physical football team, so we're going to have to match that physicality.
Coach, how has the special teams unit looked? I see you have another Washburn on the roster, Jack Washburn. Is he going to be doing the kicking for you this year?
Yeah, Jack's been doing a great job. Jack's, and I think he's only missed one PAT in all his PAT attempts, and he's kicking off for us, and he's getting better and better as the years progressed here. Jack, the younger brother, on the roster here, and special teams, another area that we've really created some great field position for our offense in a couple of games. And Peyton Lidke is a freshman who's been back there returning punts for us, who's had a couple big punt returns to set our offense up for a score. So both, really all of our special teams, Coach Dan Durante does such a great job with them, have been doing well and setting up scores for us.
The second season begins tonight as we get conference play underway. Coach, thank you so much for giving us some time. Good luck, and we look forward to speaking to you in our postgame show.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
That's head coach Mike Rice of the Columbia Raiders. When we come back, it's time to meet the starters and get this game kicked off. You're watching the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week live and on demand on YouTube. Subscribe for free.
Welcome into the Green Path CPA Solutions broadcast booth. Dave Rivera joined alongside Jaron Vaillancourt as we get ready for some LC8 football. We just got done hearing from the coaches in the Buckeye Community Bank Coaches Corner. Now it's time to find out what our keys to the game are, brought to you by Williams Brothers Builders. Jared, talk about the Wellington Dukes. What do you think your keys to the game are?
The Wellington Dukes' keys to the game is stop the run game. We've seen Columbia Raiders' run game last season and so far this season work to perfection. So if Wellington can stop the Columbia's run game here tonight, they have a chance to pull an upset here in the home crowd of the Raiders.
What do you think the keys to the game are for Columbia?
I think the keys to the game for Columbia are the same thing. We heard Mike Rice say it in the pregame show. He also wants to stop the run of Wellington. Wellington, they have two good running backs as well, Trey Moore, Kay Spagenberg. You're going to see both of them run the ball very well. So both of these teams looking to stop the run game, ultimately trying to get the victory, their first conference victory of the season.
So those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Williams Brothers Builders. As we get ready for our opening kickoff, which is brought to you by Lorain County Community College. It looks like Wellington won the toss and deferred, so Columbia will get the ball first to start things off. And your coin toss is brought to you by Lorain County Visitors Bureau. A lot of injuries for the Wellington Dukes, as we were talking to head coach Rob Howell in the pregame. And already in week 4, they are mounting up. As our injury report brought to you by Illyria Jewelers and Repair for Wellington. Number 4, Alex Frank is out, and number 11, Bryce Lemcool, who are two big players for the Dukes that they are going to miss here tonight.
You're also not going to see number 19, Dylan Riddick. He's a backup linebacker for them. Has had a couple of tackles for them in that secondary this season for Wellington. So Wellington a little short here tonight, but with the squad they have, looking to come out of Columbia with a victory here tonight.
And we'll get you our game time temperatures. Brought to you by Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando. It's 71 degrees and sunny here in Columbia Station. All grass field as we welcome you to YouTube as the kick is returned by Columbia Station's number 19, Peyton Ledke.
And Lidke, he's done well for the Raiders this season, not only returning kickoffs but returning punts as well. A great return there by Lidke for the Raiders' first possession of the night.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. And the quarterback for the Raiders is number 1, Logan Mangy. Wide receiver number 14, Jacob Rust. Running back number 1 is number 5, Xavier Hendon. And your slot back's number 4, Ambrose Beach, who is the man that just went in motion. Now going in motion is number 14 for the Raiders. That's Jacob Rust. And here goes the pitch. And it's a good one to Ambrose Beach as he's got some blockers in front. And the first carry is going to be a first down.
A good pitch and catch there by Beach. A great play by the Raiders on this opening possession. They move the chains already near midfield.
So big gain on first down. And if you haven't seen Columbia play, it's a little run left, run right, and run right up the middle, as that was a pickup of 15 on the run. 1st and 10 from the 48. Beach in motion again. Handoff to the up man. That's Rivera. That's Xavier Hendon. And Xavier Hendon picks up another first down. 2 carries and 2 big gains, Jared.
That's what's great about Columbia's run game. They have a lot of options to run the ball. Another great handoff to Hendon. We saw him explode last year for the Raiders as a freshman and continuing to do that in his sophomore campaign.
Pick up a 14 on the run. 1st and 10 from the 33. Raiders making quick work here on their first offensive possession.
We see Logan Mengi line up under center. He's probably going to do that the whole game. He doesn't have a passing touchdown yet this season.
Handoff goes to Rivera now up the middle, number 2. He's got some room to run as he is into the Duke secondary for another big gain. So they're sharing the workload here, Jared, as 3 runs, 3 different guys to start things off.
And all 3 runs have been 15 yards plus.
Yeah.
That time by Rivera, it was a 24-yard gain. And just like that, it's 1st and goal for the Raiders.
1st and goal from the 9-yard line as they're in the red zone, brought to you by Russell Real Estate Services agent Steve Lawson. Steve, one of the top performers here in Lorain County. Hendon is the man in the backfield. He gets the handoff. And actually, it looks like, no, it's Wesley Sanders who kept the ball. So they're giving you different guys with different looks here for the Columbia offense.
Wesley Sanders, he can do a little bit of everything. He can run, he can catch. He's also the backup quarterback for the Raiders. He was lined up under center there. Didn't get as much of a gain as the other runners for Columbia here in this drive.
Jared, he's playing quarterback. Logan Mengi's not out there. Logan Mengi's getting worked on the bench right here in front of us. So first possession, and we have a substitution at the quarterback position, as that was a 1-yard gain there on the run. That one's going to pick up 5 yards on the run after the 1-yard gain from Wesley Sanders, who's in at quarterback, as Logan Mengi's getting worked on in front of us, and it looks like they're working on his lower extremities.
Hopefully Mengi's all right.
Beach in motion, and that's Wesley Sanders again. Is he going to get in? No.
Looks like he's just going to be short right in front of the goal line. It's going to be 4th and goal at the 1.
So pick up of a few there. And it's 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line.
We know how aggressive this Columbia Raiders offense is. You know
sure.
they're always going to go for it on 4th down.
Sanders looked like he fumbled the football.
And I don't think he got in either. Wellington says they have it.
He did it. He didn't get in, and as that is not what you wanted to see there for the Raiders.
What a great defensive stand by the Dukes. It looked like initially Sanders was going to hand it off to Rivera in motion, and maybe he lost the ball as Rivera was going into motion. Either way, what a great stand by the Dukes.
Now they got to go 99 yards, Jared.
Yeah, you'll take the turnover over the points if you're the Dukes.
Absolutely.
And we'll see what their offense can do with their starting quarterback, Gavin Wacker.
Number 13, 6'3", 185-pound senior. And looks like Wacker takes it up the middle just to try to give himself some room and some offensive space. As he looks like he picks up 5 there. So they give him 4 on the run. So your starters, number 3, Connor Kinzer at wide receiver. Your running backs, number 20, Trey Moore. Tight end, number 28, Justin Cottrell. Your tight end is number 15, Tyler Burns. Wide receiver, number 33, Cade Spagenberg. We'll get you the offensive line here shortly, as we're going to have a penalty. And it's going to be on Columbia there, Jared.
Encroachment on Columbia. They got a little anxious. They want to try to get the ball back as fast as possible after turning it over to the Dukes. And that's going to help out the Dukes tremendously. Not pinned in the back of their end zone. Now they have some breathing room.
Yeah, 2nd and 1. They can pick up a first down and some more breathing room. The offensive line for the Wellington Dukes, number 70, Ashton Rossler. Number 55, Aiden Allheight at left guard. The center is number 50, Noah Chapelier. Right guards, number 66, Landon Mellick. As the ball is fumbled here again on this second possession, and the right tackle is number 75, Owen Persinger. That's your starters for the Wellington Dukes. And let's see what we got going on. Columbia has the ball. What is the call on the field?
Sam Andrews, number 51 for Columbia. He's the one who popped up on the fumble, and now the refs are signaling that it's Columbia's ball.
So fumble on the play. Who recovered that, Jared?
That was number 51, Sam Andrews, recovering that football for the Raiders. And back-to-back turnovers in a matter of minutes by both teams. What a dicey one here to start out in the LC8.
Yeah. And Mangy is not coming back in, ladies and gentlemen. His pads are off right now. And that's not a good sign if you're a Columbia Raider fan.
Not at all. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It's just precautionary.
We're live from Columbia as the Raiders have their second possession. And this is Hendon, the ball carrier. Xavier Hendon, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore, has a nice run. So they got the first down on the carry.
It's a nice 10-yard gain there by Xavier Hendon. Already 2 rushes out of 3, 10 yards plus.
So here we go, 2nd and 1 in a goal line situation. We're in the red zone, brought to you by Russell Real Estate Services agent Steve Lawson. We have a substitution at quarterback as Wesley Sanders, number 9, is in. Pitch goes out, and that is in for a touchdown, as it's Andrew Sorensen, number 11, who scores from 2 yards out.
We've seen Columbia run that play earlier with Ambrose Beach. Now Sorensen going to that right side, gets into the end zone, gets the first score of the night for the Raiders.
We'll give you our scoring drive, courtesy of Valley Chevrolet in Wellington. It didn't cover much ground, didn't take up much time. As our kicker is coming in, and that's a Washburn, Jack Washburn, number 25, who continues his perfect streak on the season. It's 7-0 in favor of the Raiders. Don't go anywhere. It's our Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week here on YouTube. Welcome back as we are live from Columbia Station as the Raiders take their second possession, and they go 2 plays covering 12 yards, capped off on a 2-yard touchdown run by number 11, Andrew Sorensen. Makes it 7-0. Took about 30 seconds off that play clock there, Jared.
Both teams turning over the ball in a matter of 2 minutes. Maybe some first conference game jitters. Columbia able to come out with the ball and the score to get the early 7-0 lead.
And we have a developing story here as starting quarterback for the Columbia Raiders, Owen Mengi, is out as he was hurt on the first possession of the Raiders. And his shoulder pads are off, and he is being attended to on the sidelines. Here comes Wellington as it is returned by number 3, Connor Kinzer. And Kinzer is going to get things going here.
Expect Connor Kinzer. He's going to be the main offensive receiver for the Dukes here tonight. He's coming in today with 5 receptions, 2 touchdowns for over 200 yards. And Kinzer does very well returning the ball as well for the Dukes. He's averaging 20 yards an attempt.
So they're bringing the cart on the field, which is never a good sign. And I don't think Mr. Mengi wants to get in there, Jared, as he does not look happy down there hurt. Here comes Wellington Dukes on their second possession. A long pass play is broken up by Sorensen as the Dukes almost caught the Raiders sleeping right there.
That was a great play action pass there by the Dukes. Wacker, he had Cottrell wide open down the far sideline, but Sorensen did on offense. Now he's doing it on defense. Did a great job of breaking up that play.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 now for Wellington. Take a look at the Raider defense for you as on the defensive line, number 51, Sam Andrews. Nose tackle, number 55, A.J. Lamb. Your defensive tackle is number 13, Ryan Smith. As this second play from the Dukes is going to be maybe a gain of 1 or back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Your outside linebacker is going to be Jose Rivera, number 2. Inside linebacker, number 9, Wesley Sanders. Inside linebacker, number 4, Ambrose Beach. Outside linebacker, number 5, Xavier Hendon. So they run a 3-4 defense. Cornerback, number 14, Jacob Rust. Number 11 is your safety, Andrew Sorensen. And we have another safety in for Mengi because he is out right now. And I'm trying to get you a number on him. I want to say that's number 19, which is Ledke. Peyton Ledke is starting now for Logan Mengi at safety. And then Carter Dooley, number 21, is your other corner. Those are your starting lineups on defense for Columbia. Oh, that one is picked off, and that's going to be Wesley Sanders, the quarterback, Jared, going all the way to the house from 20 yards out about.
And Wellington, I think that throw was kind of forced on them. After the holding penalty, they were backed up 2nd and 20. You could have gone run there to try to get some yards back from the penalty. That throw was just forced by Wacker. Sanders was right there. Great pick 6 for the Raiders, and just like that, they're up by 2 scores within minutes.
That's Wesley Sanders with a 20-yard interception return for a touchdown on the Dukes' 3rd play of that possession. And the extra point is good, makes it 14-0 in favor of the Columbia Raiders, as it is a pick 6, which you never want to see when you're a quarterback. Don't go anywhere. We're on YouTube. It's the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week, live and free. Welcome back in as we go over our Valley Chevrolet scoring drive of the game. Jared, it's a interception return from the defense as Wesley Sanders, who's now playing quarterback, also plays defense and is helping himself with a 20-yard pick six to the house.
He was all alone in the secondary of the Raiders, using his amazing speed down the sideline, down the near sideline, to get another score for the Raiders, and they're quickly up by 2 possessions.
So 14-0 here in this first quarter of play in week 4 of Lorain County's Friday Night Lights. And it is going to be taken, and that is Kinzer, who will be returning at number 3. Love his visor as he's got the nice look going. Connor Kinzer, number 3, returns it out. We do have a penalty flag down, so we'll see what that is.
I believe that's going to be a block in the back, and indeed it is. I believe the guilty party on that was Landon Mellick, as that'll push the Dukes back. Gavin Wacker with that interception. That's his first interception since week 1 against Western Reserve. So he's looking to regroup his offense right now, try to get back on track. The Dukes really haven't had a drive to really show for because they've committed some early turnovers in this one. Yeah,
they've backed them, their offense up with the fumble on the 10-yard or from the 12-yard line. And then now the interception. So the offense for Wellington has actually put points on the board for Columbia, if that makes any sense to you listening at home. Here we go. Handoff goes to Trey Moore, number 20, who will probably get a heavy workload as we have another flag tossed down to the ground.
I believe this is going to be on the Dukes again, another holding at the line. And it's actually a face mask against Columbia.
So that's what the Wellington Dukes need to get them backed up out of their own end zone.
We've seen penalties hurt the Dukes. Now it's hurting the Raiders. That's the first 15-yard penalty we've had here tonight, and it will help the Dukes tremendously. Keep an eye out for Trey Moore. Not only is he great on the defensive side, but he's also great in the backfield for the Dukes. He's got 2 touchdowns this year. He's averaging just over 4 yards a carry, doing really nice for the Dukes this season.
1st and 10 from the 23 for Wellington as the pass goes to Trey Moore out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up a first down. It's the first one for the Dukes here tonight.
Ask and you shall receive. Trey Moore on cue. A beautiful 17-yard reception by Moore, and that moves the chains.
Trey Moore is a 5'9", 185-pound senior. And now it's 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Gavin Wacker is your quarterback for the Dukes. Fake handoff to Moore, rolls out right. Now he's got a man open and off the hands of David Roldan, number 1.
That pass was a little high for Roldan, but still catchable. He's not able to secure it cleanly. And we've seen the Dukes here in the early going doing a lot of play action. Wacker really likes to roll out to his right. If I'm the Columbia defense, I'm hammering down that right side of the field against Wacker.
Here we go, 2nd and 10 now from the 36-yard line. Columbia up 14-0 here in this first quarter of play. Pitch to Trey Moore off the right-hand side. Got some room to run. Another penalty flag comes flying in. Is that Sorensen again? Yes, number 11, Andrew Sorensen, who scored the touchdown earlier for Columbia. Going to go back this time, Jared. What'd you see on that play?
Connor Kinzer, he was laying out the block for Trey Moore, but I think he got a little bit too much under the shoulder pads. That's what threw the yellow flag out to the field. And again, the Dukes are going to be pushed back.
Glad you guys are watching on YouTube. It's completely free, live or on demand, thanks to our season sponsors. Lorain County's Friday Night Lights, live from Columbia Station.
I can't believe it's week 4.
I know.
It's going by way
It's
too
week
fast.
4. It's your first week back on the job. You had a nice little summer gig you were doing, so
I
now
did.
it's back to the football season for you, buddy.
Right.
Trey Moore takes the handoff and picks up some hard yards as he gets maybe about 6 right there on the run.
That's a great job by the Wellington line, pushing Moore, trying to get those extra yards that he so desperately needs. Good carry by Moore, but now it's 3rd and long for the Dukes.
So he did pick up 6 there on the run. We're at Columbia, like I mentioned, and rumor has it they got the best concession stand here in Lorain County. They've already came and taken our order as we get ready for halftime. We'll be rating the food courtesy of Brian Victor of Howard Hanna.
It's like a restaurant outside.
Yes, they have grills going. You can smell the fryer cooking. We're excited as the hospitality shown here by the Columbia Raiders athletic boosters is second to none. Timeout taken on the field. We'll take it as well, as our timeouts are brought to you by Lorain County reporter Mike Duran. Don't go anywhere. It's Lorain County Sports Network Game of the Week, thanks to Legacy Home Finance on YouTube. We are back after the timeout. Jared, what do you think the timeout was for and to correct?
I think head coach Rob Howes of the Dukes didn't like the way his team was set up. He's trying to design a play, 3rd and long. You need to air it out downfield, try to get a big gain. You want to try to get past midfield, try to get on Columbia's side of the field, or try to make something happen to get back in this game early.
And Wellington needs a score here, or at least to take some time off of the clock in this first quarter. They don't want to give the ball back to this Raider offense.
And they haven't given it to Kinzer yet, their star receiver.
We've seen him on special teams, but not on the offensive side, as this one is complete. And it's going to be close to a first down, maybe short by 2, and that's Patrick Sorensen. Excuse me, that was Deacon Worth, number 24. So Deacon Worth makes the reception there, and it's going to be short a few, 1 yard.
We've seen Worth, again, another Dukes player that has done well on both sides of the ball, mainly defensively for the Dukes this season, but he picks up a nice gain. And what's nice about Gavin Wacker in his first season starting for the Dukes this season at quarterback, he's utilizing each receiver. He's gone to 3 different targets up to this point, and he's so far 2 for 5, but doing a good job of utilizing his offense, not picking the same receiver all the time.
Here's how I know I've been doing this for a long time already. I remember when Deacon Worth was a freshman, and now he's a senior. How has 4 years flown by already? I remember he plays basketball as well for the Wellington Dukes, and he picks up 13 on the pitch and catch there from Gavin Wacker. It's going to bring up a short 1 yard line, maybe the nose of the ball, Jared. It's really all they need.
We don't have a virtual measurement like the NFL? Or what about the index card?
6 inches, the dollar bill.
And he is going to be just a tad short. 4th and short, I think if you're Wellington, you got to go for it here.
Absolutely.
Even though you're on your side of the field, you're down early. You want to try to build some momentum on this drive.
Here's an easy play, Jared. Here's an easy play. How about a little quarterback sneak right up the middle? Your quarterback is 6'3". Him just laying out by himself is going to get you this first down.
6'3", 185 pounds. He does have a strong line in front of him. Could be worth the move. They also have strong running backs in Moore and Spangenberg. We'll see what they do.
14-0 here in the first quarter, as Columbia having a party here in the stands. The kids bring their own boom boxes, and we're just enjoying ourselves here. Southwest General Stadium, 4th and 1. Oh, Columbia. The hard count is working as they're going to pick up a free 5 yards.
That was on Ambrose Beach. Ambrose Beach got a little over-aggressive. Great hard count by Wacker, and that moves the chains. The Dukes near midfield. And no, excuse me, I think that was actually A.J. Lamb that went too quick.
Wacker fakes the handoff, throws, and he's got a man open as that's Cade Spagenberg, who's going to be tackled by Wesley Sanders. And now Spagenberg is hurt. And that's not what Wellington needs, because right now they have a sideline full of guys with just jerseys on, with no pads. Talking to some of the coaching staff early in the pregame, they said, man, it's just one of those things that happens from time to time where the injury bug just sneaks up on you. And we mentioned Alex Frank being out, Bryce Lemcole being out. Those are 2 guys that the Dukes count on. And now number 33, Cade Spangenberg, touches the ball for the first time tonight, and he is down. We're going to take a quick injury time out here on the field. It's 14-0 in favor of Columbia. So we're in an injury timeout right now as they unfortunately have brought out the stretcher, which is never a good sign and never anything a parent wants to hear. But Cade Spagenberg looks to be okay. It looks like a lower leg injury on the tackle. And Jared, you had brought up a good point on the type of tackle it was. No malicious intent, but just something to keep an eye on.
Wesley Sanders, he did that banned hip tackle from the NFL that you're not allowed to do in the NFL anymore. Sanders with the hip tackle on Spangenberg. He landed and hit his head on the field. We thought it was his head at first, but it actually was his leg, a lower body injury. And Spangenberg, he didn't play week 1 because he was on the IR. So we're thinking that he possibly re-aggravated a lower body injury, or it's a completely new injury that we don't know of.
And the refs are talking to Coach Rob Howes, who does not look happy, Jared.
Obviously, Howes fighting for his players, fighting for his team for the best possible situation for them.
And like we mentioned, no malicious intent on the Columbia player at all. It's one of those things that's a learning and a teaching moment, as it's not banned here in high school. Eventually it will be.
And I think Howes was arguing with the ref about that hip tackle as he puts the headset back on and try to refocus his team in this game late in the first quarter.
So after the injury, it's 2nd and 3 now. And handoff's going to go to Trey Moore.
And that means Moore is going to get most of the carries for the Dukes the rest of this game. They usually only run Spangenberg and Moore. We'll see if they try to run anyone else or Moore will get most of the carries.
Well, like we mentioned earlier in the pregame, there's starting to be a long line of guys in jerseys on the sidelines for the Dukes, and they're not in pads. 3rd and 1 now, as we're under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. And Wacker's just going to take it and pick up the first down, which is a smart play there by the quarterback.
We've seen Wacker run it a few times this season. Only 6 carries for 9 yards, but it was a good job there, getting the first down for the Dukes and moving the chains.
It picked up 2, kept the chains moving, and more importantly, keeps the clock moving, Jared, as I think right now Wellington's best offense is going to be to keep Columbia off the field.
The less time that Columbia has the ball, it's better for the Dukes. They're taking their time with this one.
Here we go. Handoff. That's Trey Moore, and he's bottled up by a slew of Columbia Raiders, led by number 55, A.J. Lamb, the nose tackle.
We saw A.J. Lamb last year as a reserve for the Raiders. Now bigger, stronger. The junior stands at 6'2", 293 pounds. He's a big boy.
Deacon Worth is going to check out, number 24. And checking in is Landon Beal for the Dukes. 2nd and 10 now from the 39-yard line. Here we go. A little trickery here as a counter from Trey Moore is going to pick up about 2 yards on the run play. A little counter action there. And with that play is going to be the end of the first quarter. With Columbia on top 14-0. Don't go anywhere. It's the Legacy Home Finance game of the week. Live and free on YouTube. Just make sure you subscribe. Nothing in favor of the Raiders as Wellington has the ball and is driving. As the last play resulted in another no gain from Trey Moore, who is going to be the workhorse here tonight for Wellington.
For Columbia, they've done it on both sides of the ball. They had a 2-yard touchdown run by Andrew Sorensen and then a 20-yard pick six by Sanders.
So they've scored on offense and on defense. Maybe they'll get a special team score as well. Wacker is going to drop back, rolls left, steps up in the pocket. It's got a man. It's Trey Moore off his hands, incomplete.
And that pass, that's not Wacker's fault. He fired it over the middle, right to Moore in the middle of the field. He had space to run, playing to get the first down. Just a costly drop for the Dukes right there, and they look like to go for it.
4th and 10 now, Jared, and as we mentioned, you know, maybe they don't put any points up on the board, but at least killing, 6 minutes off of the clock here was a win in itself. It's those small victories we like to stack up here.
The small victories inside the gridiron, that's what matters.
4th and 10 now for the Dukes of Wellington. Wacker drops back, passes, got a man intended for Justin Cottrell, number 28. It's off his hands, incomplete, turnover on downs.
Second target for Cottrell here tonight. That one just a little too high, and the Raiders able to get the 4th down stop.
So with 11:49 here in the second quarter, Columbia is going to get their 3rd offensive possession underway as they scored on their 2nd offensive possession on a 2-yard touchdown run by Andrew Sorensen. New quarterback, as we mentioned, Logan Mangy hurt on the first offensive possession for the Raiders, and that is Wesley Sanders with the ball and running. First down and more as he's stopped finally at the 40-yard line by number 1, David Roldan.
Great run by Sanders. He just keeps it himself. A beautiful quarterback run, but looks like it's going to come back.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun. And I didn't even see it. It's a hold. It was a nice run there by the quarterback, and like my partner mentioned, it's going to back them up to the 29 now in a 1st and 20 here.
We've seen a couple plays here tonight by both teams, great runs, but have been called back due to penalties. A costly hold there for Columbia. Not sure who the guilty party was on that, but that helps out the Dukes.
Columbia comes in averaging 35 points per game and allowing just 6 on defense. 3-0 is the record. 2 of those victories were shutouts, as their Week 2 matchup was a tough one, 27-20 against Fairview. Ambrose Beach in motion, and handoff looks to go to Hendon, I believe, is the ball carrier. Yep, Xavier Hendon, number 5. Surprised we haven't seen a lot of Jose Rivera yet.
Hendon, he's getting most of the carries so far in this first half. He has 4 carries, Rivera just 1. He had a nice big run, Rivera did, 24 yards. But yeah, surprised by that as well, Dave. Hendon getting most of the carries.
So Columbia spreading the wealth here tonight. Handoff. And that is a nice run, and it's Hendon again, number 5. Just a sophomore, as we mentioned. Xavier Hendon, 5'10", 175 pounds. Picks up 6 yards on the run.
And what's interesting about Hendon and the Rivera combination, Hendon, he gets most of the carries, but Rivera, he has more touchdowns. Rivera, he has 7 touchdowns compared to Hendon's 1. So you think when the Raiders are in the red zone inside the 10-yard line, most of those carries are going to Rivera instead of Hendon.
And unfortunately, we're missing a Raider tonight, as Jimmy Stoffe is out hurt tonight, and he's a Columbia Raider All-Ohioan from last year, and it's definitely a blow to the Raiders offense that he is out here tonight, hoping and wishing for the best for Jimmy Stoffe and his family.
And imagine how much more dynamic the Raiders offense would be if Stoffe was playing.
Man.
But again, like you said, Dave, we wish nothing but the best for Stoffe and his family.
Especially with Logan Mangy, you had like 4 guys that you could hand the ball to at any given time that you would have to stop in the LC8, which is a hard task for any team. That's Rivera in motion. Hand off to Hendon, the up back. Gets to the second level and runs over a defender for another first down. And now the gains coming in chunks for the Raiders.
And you talk about the Raiders' run game. That's what's so tough about any defense facing the Raiders' offense. You never know who's going to get the ball. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. They just pick and choose. Hendon getting most of them here in this first half, but they have a dynamic run game where they can pick anyone they want. Some teams can't do.
That's an 11-yard run there. First and 10 now from the 39 here for Columbia. Sanders hands it off to Hendon, who is still on his feet and churning as we thought he was going down, and he said no, because that's a big gain by Hendon, who's now starting to rack up some yards.
That was an 18-yard gain there by Xavier Hendon, refusing to go down, going the extra mile to get that extra gain. He was trying to score right there in the end zone for the Raiders. Nice gain by the sophomore, his biggest gain of the night.
Columbia comes in ranked number 16 in the state in Division 6 as the AP poll for the first time came out today. I talked to Coach Rice about it in the pregame. I said, does you pay attention to it? He says, not at all. He says, if I don't take care of business on the field, none of that stuff even matters anyway. So I said, 100%, Coach. Hendon, handoff up the middle. He's brought down by a host of Wellington Dukes. Looks like Trey Moore's in there. You got some other names, Jared, that you can point out?
Trey Moore, the middle linebacker. You also
28, Justin Cottrell.
Manny Mitchell as well.
So the Dukes defense now starting to be on the field a little longer than they would like to be, as that's a pickup of 4 on the run.
This is a Dukes defense that has 5 turnovers on the season, 2 fumbles, 3 interceptions. They've done well defensively. They're just overmatched on this drive right now by the Raiders' run game.
Handoff again to Hendon, number 5, and he is slammed down by number 53 of the Dukes, and I don't have him on my roster. That was 53, right, Jared?
I saw 53 as well,
okay.
Yes.
Wanted to make sure. I'm the old guy here. So it's a first down as a pickup of 6 on the run play. It's been a heavy dose of Xavier Hendon on this drive. I'm going to give you Hendon until you can stop it, right, Jared?
Yeah, and the Raiders, they don't really throw that much to begin with.
True.
Still no pass here tonight.
And we got a sweep, as that is going to be Ambrose Beach, the ball carrier, fighting for positive yards, and he gets them. Deacon Worth slings them down. And it's just chunk after chunk after chunk. Second and goal now from the 5-yard line as Columbia is in the red zone, thanks to Russell Real Estate's services agent Steve Lawson, one of the top producing sales guys here in Lorain County. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, Steve Lawson's the guy to talk to. Timeout called by Wellington. Our timeout is brought to you by Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran. We'll take it as well. 14-0 in favor of Columbia with 6:50 to go, but they're knocking on the door. Don't go anywhere. We're live and free here on YouTube. Ambrose Beach with the 6-yard run sets up this 2nd and 4 from the 5. Jared, Columbia's run game looking good.
And I know Sanders, he's the backup quarterback for the Raiders, but every time Sanders has been under center, they have always run the ball. Never a pass by Sanders.
Same play again as it's a top sweep to the left with Ambrose Beach. And he's going to be brought down by Cottrell, number 28. So no gain on the run play there by Ambrose Beach.
It's the first run tonight that we've seen that hasn't gone for a gain. And the Raiders have already run the ball 17 times here tonight for 130 yards in this first half.
3rd and 4 from the 5-yard line. Columbia in complete control and looking to go up 21-0. Handoff to Hendon as he puts his head down, and he is slammed to the turf by number 75, Owen Persinger, who's a 5'9", 200-pound senior. And another no gain there, Jared.
Wellington not going down without a fight. We saw them have a great goal line stop in the first drive of the game for the Raiders. They're trying to do that again here.
Here we go, 4th and 4. Motion man draws Wellington off sides, and it's going to be a free first down for the Raiders.
I'm not sure who the guilty party was, but we've seen it from both teams tonight, guilty of the hard count. This time goes in the Raiders. Now they got 1st and goal.
So half the distance to the goal.
So 4th and short. My apologies.
Yeah, not a first down. So Columbia definitely going to have to run a play here, Jared.
I think Sanders is going to take it himself here.
I would. Motion man is a pitch to the right, and it's in for the touchdown from 3 yards out. That's Rivera on cue, on time.
We've seen that twice tonight by Columbia. They pitched it to the right side and score with a touchdown. First, it was Sorensen, and now it's Rivera. Short gains for short touchdowns. Columbia will definitely take it, now up by 3 scores.
So we'll give you our drive summary here shortly. As Jack Washburn is in to kick it, number 25. He's a junior. I've heard the name Washburn a lot if you're a Columbia fan. His brother just graduated last year. And the kick is up and good. So we'll give you your scoring drive courtesy of Valley Chevrolet in Wellington when we return. It's 21-0 in favor of Columbia. Live and free here on YouTube. Your Valley Chevrolet scoring drive for Columbia. 13 plays covering 61 yards, capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by number 2, Jose Rivera. His first of the game. A long 7-minute drive there for the Raiders, putting a nice final blow. 21-0 is a big one to come back to here in the second quarter.
A running clinic for Columbia, taking their time.
Not the running clock yet, but running clinic.
And Wellington's going to have to find a way to get back into this one.
Yeah, and it's a hard task with the injuries mounting up for the Dukes right now, as they are going to return it, and that is Kinzer, number 3. Got away from the first line of defense and slips and falls at the 20, and that's where the Dukes will start. We have our Health Markets halftime show coming up here in about 4 minutes. It's brought to you by local agent Jeff Allison in Amherst. If you're uninsured, if you have some Medicare questions, Jeff Allison can help you. Maybe you need some dental insurance, vision insurance. That's right up Jeff's alley. give him a call or check him out. He's in Amherst at JeffAllisonInsurance.com. We'll also get some food and rate the concession stands courtesy of our friend Brian Victor at Howard Hanna. We normally rate the hot dog. I'm sure they'll give us a hot dog or two. Here we go. From the 22-yard line, that's that's Deacon Worth.
That's the first check down and screen pass we've seen from the Dukes here tonight, and it worked for a nice, solid gain.
So Worth picks up 7 on the pass play.
Worth, he's been targeted twice, 2 receptions for 20 yards. He's done well up to this point. They're trying to get Gavin Wacker, the quarterback, going for the Dukes. Just 5 for 9 in this first half for 44 yards.
It's not bad, Jared, but they're in a hole right now, so you're going to see a whole lot more passing from him. Blitz coming. That's Rivera. Steps up is Wacker, and he's going to be dropped and slammed. And let's see if I can get you a number. It looked like Ambrose Beach. Yeah, number 4.
And it looks like Wacker's down now, too.
Oh, no. That's not what you want. The quarterback listed is Trey Moore, which I would think, go into a Wildcat mode, Jared.
I would think so.
We're going to take a quick timeout as another Wellington Duke is down, and we hope not out. It's the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week here on YouTube. Good news for the Wellington Dukes as Gavin Wacker gets up under his own power and walks to the sidelines. Does bring up a question, who's going to take snaps now for the Dukes? And
I believe it's going to be Trey Moore. Trey Moore will line up in the Wildcat formation.
Well, nope, Trey Moore is in the Wildcat. Who's in the backfield? There's almost an offsides there. That's 23 in the backfield with him, which is Dom Wright. And that play doesn't result in much as a timeout is taken by Columbia. It's going to bring up a 4th down, and I think Columbia wants to score again before the half.
And it's a decision for the Dukes. Do you punt the ball away, try to go for it on 4th down? I think if you're the Dukes, you got to punt this one.
He lost 2 yards there, Jared, and that's why Coach Mike Rice was immediately like, timeout, 3 minutes to go. Yeah, we're going to get the ball back in some good field position and possibly score up 28-0, and then you get the ball back to start the second half.
That's even better for Columbia.
So we'll keep it here during this timeout. Coach Mike Rice firing up his guys, saying let's finish the job, as they are going to be looking to get the ball on special teams here. See who they throw back there to return it. Peyton Lakey.
Gavin Wacker, he's the punter for the Dukes, but now it looks like it's going to be Ian Sippo Sutton to punt this one away for the Dukes.
Number 2, who's a junior. Does a little bit of everything. Running back, wide receiver. Here we go. Sippo Sutton's kick is away. And we have was that Ledke?
Yes, that was. That was a great tackle there by Noah Chapelier. Lipke, a dangerous returner for the Raiders. Got nothing on that return.
So Columbia's going to get the ball back with 3 minutes to go here, and they're right at about midfield. They're going to start at the 46.
They have plenty of time to score, but with their run game, the clock chews off so much. So we'll see what they plan on doing here. Again, Sanders, according to Max Preps, has not thrown a pass this season for the Raiders.
That Wellington Dukes possession was a 3 and out, and it ended with an injury to their quarterback, Gavin Wacker. Not what you wanted there for the Dukes. Time of possession being controlled now by Columbia. Man in motion was Rivera. Hendon gets the handoff. Nope, it's going to be Wesley Sanders who keeps it and goes around the right-hand side. He's got room to run if he would have just waited for some of his blockers to come. I think he might have went all the way as Ambrose Beach was flying up to help lend him a hand, and it's a big run there.
A huge gain right there. That was 41 yards on that gain.
Wesley Sanders, who is the backup quarterback playing now for Logan Mangy, who went down in the first series. First and 10 now. Hand off to Hendon. He's brought down by Wellington's number, I was going to say 72, but I don't have a 72. Wellington, I think, changing numbers with all the guys that are out tonight as well. He's not on there. Gotta love it. So no gain from the run from Hendon. That's Rivera in motion. Hand off to the up man. That's Hendon, and he is going to be close to a first down depending on where they spot him at.
Spot him at the 15-yard line, just about 3 yards short.
So pick up 3 on the run. Rivera goes out. Sorensen goes in. .135 to go on this running clock in the second quarter. Almost ready for halftime here. Sanders under center. Hand off to Hendon. Oh, no, looks like Sanders kept it, the quarterback. He's been doing a great job of the fakes, Jared. He's faking me out for sure.
And Columbia, they love to go in motion as well, so that's also tripping up the Wellington defense. But a nice stop right there.
No gain, brother.
Brings up a 3rd and short for the Raiders.
Yeah, a 4th and 3. We're live from Southwest General Stadium here in Columbia Station. It's week 4, but it's the first conference game of the season, and Columbia dominating right now as the Dukes jump off sides.
That was Manny Mitchell, the guilty party there, and he kind of made it obvious because he jumped over the line, then he froze.
Then he just stood there.
Because he was like, oh no,
oh boy,
I committed a penalty.
They're going to call this penalty, I know it.
And we keep saying it, we've seen it a couple of times here tonight, where the hard count has helped out both teams. That's the second one for Columbia that's worked out for them.
And they want to talk about it with 40 seconds left. They want to make sure they can capitalize here and get into the end zone as they will receive to start this third quarter. Don't go anywhere. We're almost at halftime here from Columbia. Jared, put yourself in the offensive coordinator's shoes for Columbia. What are you doing here?
I'm going back to that pitch to the right
Ooh.
that Columbia has done all night long. They have 2 touchdowns off of it. You have a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Both those pitches were short gains for touchdowns, but both Sorensen and Rivera, when they scored those touchdowns, had plenty of room to run. So I would go back to that pitch.
Here we go. We'll see what happens. Is it Ambrose Beach? Is it Jose Rivera? Who gets the pitch? Or maybe does Xavier Hendon get it? Pitch. Jared called it to the right-hand side. That's Jose Rivera. And he is going to be brought down. No gain.
I think everyone was thinking the same thing, including the Wellington defense. Just not any blockers in that right side for Rivera. Nothing he could do.
So, timeout again by the Raiders. We'll keep it this time. Drones are in the sky taking some pictures here at Southwest General Stadium as it's 21-0 in favor of Columbia. Jared, you called it, man. What are you thinking here offensively?
I think they'll probably give it to Sanders and he'll go to the left side. The right side doesn't work, go to the left side.
Lost 4 on that run. Is there any chance they throw the ball? Any chance, Jared?
No, I don't think the Raiders are going to throw the ball. Out of all the games that we have done for the Raiders over the years, they do not throw the ball much. They didn't throw the ball much last season. And I don't think they're going to do it again here for the rest of this game. I'd be heavily shocked if they did. As we mentioned, Sanders has not thrown a pass this season. I don't expect him to for the rest of this one. I already have 21-0.
So here we go. 2nd and 14 from the 14 as Columbia in the red zone. Brought to you by Russell Real Estate Services agent Steve Lawson. Check out superstevesells.com. 21 seconds left. Rivera in motion. Here you go, Jared. And didn't happen as a sack is going to be completed by the Dukes, led by guys that I don't have on my roster that I can't name, which I apologize. Got a 53 and a 72 out there, and I don't know who they are. And that'll end the first half of play. 21-0 in favor of the Raiders. Don't go anywhere. We'll have our Health Markets halftime show. We'll show you the bands, and we'll break down the second half, courtesy of our friend Al Januzzi, CPA. It's all about the numbers. We'll be right back. You're live and free on YouTube.
To the the shining hope of voices of light, this show builds to the final confrontation of dark versus light. Featured soloists are Kyle Herding on trumpet, Sean Leonardi on alto saxophone, and Landon Malik on trumpet. Tonight, you'll only see 3/4 of our competition show, so come back to find out. Will salvation triumph or will darkness prevail? Put your hands together for the Wellington Dukes Marching Band.
Welcome into our Health Markets halftime show presented by local insurance agent Jeff Allison in Amherst. Just got done watching the Wellington Dukes marching band. We're glad you're joining us here, as now the Columbia Raiders marching band is coming on the field, and we'll bring you back to them here shortly. Let's go over some stats courtesy of Al Januzzi CPA. It's all about the numbers. 21-0 in favor of Columbia, Jared. Let's take a deeper dive into those numbers. What do you got for us?
It's mainly been the run game for both teams tonight. Columbia, 24 carries for 177 yards, 2 of those for touchdowns. The Wellington Dukes, 8 carries for 17 yards. The Dukes are the only ones that have passed it. 4 receptions for 44 yards. Gavin Wacker, before coming out due to injury, 5 for 9 in the air, 1 interception. And as we mentioned, no passes to report for the Raiders in that first half.
So those are some stats for the Wellington Dukes, as they haven't had much to really be proud of here in this first half. They've been dropping like flies injury-wise. They've only got a few first downs. They've got to stop Columbia's running game, which is easier said than done, Jared. I mean, taking a look at those numbers, well, they're not very pretty.
Yeah, especially when you, for the Dukes, don't have one of your key men on defense, and Cade Spangenberg. He had to leave due to injury, and he's also a big part of the running game for the Dukes as well. So we hope that Wacker returns. We'll have to wait and see, but you can't stop the run game if you don't have your top guys out there in the gridiron. So we'll see if, with the guys that Wellington have, can stop the Columbia's run game to start the second half.
And Columbia is not unscathed in this game so far, as they lost their starting quarterback, Logan Mangy, in the first series, which looked to be a shoulder injury, and he is done for the night. He was taken off of the field and taken back for some evaluation, as we've seen the shoulder pads come off, and usually when that happens in a high school football game, that means, well, you are done. And Wesley Sanders has stepped up big time at the quarterback position. He's done just enough. And the Columbia running game is like a machine. It just keeps going and going and going.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious for Mengi. Besides the turnover by Columbia and Wellington to start this game, they've played a clean football for the most part with the turnover mark. Penalties have cost them a little bit here tonight. But as you said, Dave, that Columbia run game has just been unmatched for this Dukes defense so far in this one.
And it doesn't get any easier, as Columbia will receive the ball to start things off. They lead 21-0. We're about 10 minutes away from getting the third quarter kicked off. Enjoy the Columbia High School marching band as we take a quick break and come back here shortly. You're watching the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week here on YouTube.
Florida's Dixieland twist on the beloved hit, Take Me Home, Country Roads.
We are back. It's the Health Markets Insurance Halftime Show brought to you by local insurance agent Jeff Allison. Just got done hearing from both of the bands who did a spectacular job here at halftime. We went over some of the stats, courtesy of our friend Al Januzzi, CPA. It's all about the numbers, and the number that matters is 21-0 in favor of Columbia. We also need to take care of some very important business, as we got to crown a concession stand champion. And right now, the Columbia Booster Club does a fantastic job of hooking us up.
Look at all this galore
as
right
we
here.
actually have a camera to show you. We've got some chicken tenders. We got some French fries.
The dog is not in my hand because I ate it already.
We had an all-beef.
There's a spare one.
An all-beef kosher dog that was naked, all right? Naked. No mustard.
No condiments.
No ketchup, and it was phenomenal. Hands down, the best hot dog we've had at a concession stand here this season. So shout out to the Columbia Raiders athletic boosters and the people who run the concession stand. Not only did they come and take our order before the game, they brought everything up to us right at halftime.
Yeah, it was like that.
Right at halftime, the gentleman brought everything up with some beverages to wash it all down. And then got to give a huge shout out to Mrs. Ward, who is celebrating a birthday. Happy belated birthday to Mrs. Ward. She supplied the desserts here today. And I talked to athletic director Jason Ward early before we got things set up. And he goes, you know what? You got some special treats up there tonight. He goes, Mrs. Ward was kind of creating some new things up there. She made this little strudel, apple peach strudel.
I saw you diving into that.
He compared it to a Pop-Tart. Now, Jason, this was nothing like a Pop-Tart, buddy. This was like an apple turnover. Like
an apple strudel.
Oh, like an apple strudel. It was amazing. So happy belated birthday, Mrs. Ward, who turns 29 a few days ago. Just did a fantastic job of supplying some cookies. We got the famous snickerdoodles from Miss Lisa Ward. We also got the chocolate chip cookies and some apple and peach turnover strudel, whatever you want to call it. It was delicious. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ward.
Don't forget about the pizza, too.
Yeah, there's pizza up there. I mean,
there's a bunch of stuff.
I told the guys making our schedule every week, you might as well just set me here to Columbia every Friday night, because the way they do things here at Southwest General Stadium, it's pretty damn good. 21-0 as we got about 4 minutes to go, because the teams are getting ready to warm up here as they're getting the Little Raiders off of the field right now. Looking ahead to week 5 for Columbia, they're going to be on the road at Black River. And for the Wellington Dukes, they are going to be at home welcoming the Clearview Clippers, who are being aired on our radio station, WOBL, as that game is going on right now. Another game we've covering was the big Avon North Ridgeville game on Cool Cat. And then a big non-conference matchup here in week 4 was Vermilion coming to EC. And that one is on our stream on YouTube as well, as a lot of people are watching that.
That's a good battle, especially because EC, they're still trying to figure out who they're going to face with their conference being shifted a few years ago. That's a good battle. Vermilion, a good playoff team from a year ago. EC trying to bounce back from last season. That's a good battle between those two teams.
So, yeah, Brian Victor's Rate the Dog. The hot dog here at Columbia was a 10 out of 10, man. It was kosher.
You give it a 10 out of 10?
Kosher. 10 out of 10. All beef, naked, no condiments. Yeah, man. I know you're a little bit more of a food snob.
You don't want my rating. I am on the other spectrum. I'm on the other spectrum. You don't want my rating.
What do you mean? Because me and Duke were on the same page.
So I'll be honest.
Go ahead. You're the wrestling guru.
I'm more of a foodie than you. I'm more particular with my food, especially being with baseball all season long. I'm kind of sick of hot dogs.
Yeah.
So I think if you count the baseball factor, it's a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
If you count like not baseball, I give it a 7.
Okay.
You know, because I'm not like you. I can't eat a naked hot dog. I need onions. I need relish. I need mustard. I need ketchup. Sometimes when I go to the Guardians game, it's Fruit Loops, bacon, and mac and cheese. I need stuff on my hot dog.
I haven't done that. I normally just do mustard. I just do stadium mustard normally. I'm a stadium mustard guy.
I can live with that, but if they got the onions and the relish there, I'm going to get it.
Okay. So you're saying because you're missing a few key condiments, that's why
the dog was fine.
Okay.
The dog was fine.
I just
There was
want to
nothing
make
wrong
sure.
with the dog.
It was the we were on the same page.
It was the condiments and the fact that it's been baseball season for me.
Jared's first week back as he was calling some baseball down in North Carolina, right? Or is it
North Carolina,
okay.
South Carolina, Virginia.
Yeah, you did the traveling tour, so he was all over down there. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come right back and get ready to start the third quarter of play as the Raiders are going to have the ball. Captains are going out to midfield now to smooth everything over as it's 21-0 in favor of the Raiders. We'll be back here in about 2 minutes. So Wellington actually is going to receive the kickoff here to start the third quarter of play, as Washburn gets ready to kick things away. You got Kinzer back there, Connor Kinzer, number 3, as well as Chase Milks, number 7, back there for the Dukies. It's going to be Kinzer. He's going to get things going at the 10, brings it out, and now circles back to the 15, breaks a tackle, and now he's got some room to run. And he is brought down at about the 35-yard line. And we got some extracurricular activity as a Wellington Duke was talking smack, and he was the last one that got caught, so now it's going to be a penalty.
We've seen some hard tackles. We've seen some blocks get overextended after the play has been over from both these teams tonight. A little choppy back and forth, and we'll see who this goes against.
Yeah, it's going to go against Wellington. Not offsetting, as the guilty party was Noah Chapelier, number 50, who laid a big hit out on Rivera, number 2, for Columbia, and let him hear about it.
And Rob Howells, the Duke's head coach, is throwing up his arms like, why? Why is that a penalty? He doesn't agree with the call. And Connor Kinzer on that great return gives still decent field position for the Dukes to start the second half, even with the penalty. His name has not been called that much tonight for the Dukes, leading the Dukes in receptions this season. If the Dukes want any chance in coming back into this one, they have to give him the ball.
So Wellington will get things started from the 18-yard line. Remember, Devin Wacker went out, and he is not back. So Trey Moore is going to be in your Wildcat, and he's going to take the pitch and go off the right-hand side. Doesn't pick up much as he's brought down by Wesley Sanders.
Dom Wright was on that block right there on that right side of the field for the Dukes. Not able to get that block cleanly, hence why Moore only got 1 yard.
And running back next to Moore is Cottrell, number 28. Justin Cottrell, who plays tight end, is now the running back. And Trey Moore, who was the running back, is now the quarterback. He's going to throw it. This Trey Moore. He's got an arm. He shows you. Call way over, intended for Kinzer, and almost intercepted by the Raiders.
Kinzer in double coverage there. He was going to the sideline on his route right there and got twisted on that ball by Moore. They're luckily that didn't get picked.
So incompletion there will bring up a third down. You don't want to go 3 and out here on your first possession if you're the Dukes, that's for sure. You'd like to get at least 1 first down. Third and 10. Moore, the quarterback, takes it, direct snap. He's going to run up the middle, and he's brought down immediately, tackled by Jose Rivera. He's going to bring up a 4th down.
And we've given a lot of credit to the Raiders' run game here today, but we have to also give credit to their defense as well. They have forced a turnover by the Dukes, and they really haven't done anything, the Dukes that is, offensively, to scare this Raiders defense. They've done well up to this point.
And kick by Kinzer, and we have a hit by Chapelier again, number 50. Noah Chapelier lays the wood, and the guy for Columbia is Peyton Ledke, who's still trying to get his bearings under, and he's going to go talk to the coach and make sure he's okay, because that was a big hit, timed up perfectly.
That was a great tackle by Chapelier, but if you're Lidke, call the fair catch. You have a 3-score lead. Call the fair catch so you don't risk an injury like that with a hard tackle by Chapelier.
Especially because, you know, the kick wasn't that great, so it didn't give him time to set up the return. Here comes the Raiders from the 43. And that is going to be a pickup from Wesley Sanders of about 7 on the play. Yeah, they're going to give him 5.
And I just checked our other stream, Dave. EC is up 3-0 over Vermillion right now in the third quarter.
No way. It's a defensive struggle?
It is.
Who would have thought that? Evan Coons comes in leading Lorain County in rushing. EC Panthers quarterback Robbie DeRay leads the county in passing. I would have never thought it's going to be a defensive struggle. As right here in this one, got another run play up the middle, and that was Hendon. He got the first down there, Jared.
6-yard gain for Hendon. Hendon today, 13 carries for 88 yards, just averaging under 7 yards a carry. He's done really well leading the charge for the Raiders run game here today.
That's some pretty good numbers, and we'll see exactly who's going to get our Zabo Apparel player of the game. I've got somebody in mind. We'll see if Jared's on the same wavelength or not. Handoff, that's Hendon up the middle, number 5. He's brought down by a few of the Wellington Dukes. And now we have a penalty flag. Let's see what we got here. Some more talking after the play, Jared. Some chippiness.
And who will get the flag is the question. The ref pointing to both sides. I don't know if he's issuing warnings or he's telling them to knock it off. I'm not sure what is going on.
Well, Trey Moore is going to exit, and the guy leaving for Columbia is A.J. Lamb.
So Moore and Lamb must have said something to each other.
So those were the guilty parties right there, and they're going to take a break.
It's an 8-yard pickup for Hendon and 2nd and short for the Raiders. They're trying to move down this field.
Here we go, and off the left-hand side is Jose Rivera, who puts his head down and makes the defender pay before going out of bounds. Rivera runs hard and violent.
Lowering the shoulder was Rivera. A nice gain, gets the first down and moves the chains for the Raiders.
Wesley Sanders getting some direction from Coach Mike Rice. Raiders good opening drive here on their first possession of the third quarter. Handoff to Hendon again with room to run. Another penalty flag as he is thrown down past the first down, and we'll see what it is.
I think that's going to get called back on the hold by Columbia.
All right.
Not sure who the guilty party was there. Columbia, they've played a clean game for the most part. I believe they only have 5 penalties tonight. Not a lot. But that'll push them back 10.
So 21-0 in favor of Columbia here in the third quarter, and Raiders dominating on both sides of the ball. Wellington having some injuries coming into the game and during the game, and it's got guys playing out of position and short-staffed here tonight. Ambrose Beach is your Mosin man. Hand off to Xavier Hendon up the middle. Hendon cuts back and is still on his feet and picks up some positive yardage there.
Nice cut inside there by Hendon. He's done a great job all night getting yards after contact. Another big run there by Hendon. Big gain for him and the Raiders.
Second and 9 now, so pickup of 1 on the play.
We saw the Dukes, they got a sack towards the end of the first half, trying to build off of that sack here, try to keep the Raiders off the scoreboard.
And that's Wesley Sanders. No, Ambrose Beach, number 4. Who's had a good game so far here tonight.
Beach, he hasn't gotten a lot of carries today, only 4 carries for 25 yards. He's been a playmaker for them, just not as much as we anticipated coming in here tonight. The junior stands at 6 foot, 185 pounds.
Here we go, 3rd and 5 from the 10. Columbia in the red zone. Little counter sweep action. Jose Rivera from 10 yards out. And that one is good for his first touchdown of the night. From 10 yards out. We'll give you our scoring drive, courtesy of Valley Chevrolet. As we get ready for the extra point attempt from Jack Washburn. The kids threw the confetti up in the crowd here at Southwest General Stadium. And the kick is good. 27-0 here in favor of Columbia with 6:23 to go. We'll take a quick timeout and we'll return on the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week. And it was a 8-play, 57-yard drive capped off by a 10-yard touchdown run by number 2, Jose Rivera. Makes it 28-0 in favor of Columbia. And they took 4 minutes off of the clock, Jared.
We talked about at the top of the hour, Jose Rivera doesn't get as many carries as Hendon, but when it's 1st and goal and short at the goal line, the Raiders love to go to Rivera. Came in today with 7 touchdowns, leading the team. Now has 2 more here tonight. And that's just a recipe for success for the Raiders that has been working all season long. Rivera with those 2 touchdowns, 6 carries for 45 yards here tonight.
And the Columbia Raiders dominating right now.
31 carries for 228 yards in the rushing department for the Raiders. Still haven't committed a pass here tonight, and they don't really need to.
No, I don't think you're going to see many passes here. We told you the game plan. It's run left, run right, and run up the middle. As it's going to be returned by the Dukes, and that's number 87 with it, making some moves. That's Brady Irwin, who's getting around the corner, the sophomore. Will set up the Dukes for their next possession.
That was a nice return by Brady Irwin. I don't know if that was a design play to get that out of the hands of Connor Kinser. He had a nice return to start the second half. I don't know if that was a design play or not, but either way, the Dukes with good field position look to get their first points on the scoreboard here in the second half.
So they'll start things at their own 32-yard line with 6:13 on the clock. Depleted Wellington Duke team right now as they're just trying to get some healthy bodies out there. And the snap is way over Trey Moore's head. This could be trouble. He misses the recovery. Let's see if Columbia got it or not. I don't know. They're going to have to dig out the scrum. Can we get a signal? I still haven't seen a signal. There we go. Columbia ball. So fumble on the play and turnover on their first possession.
That was a high snap by the Duke center, Noah Chapelier, just high of Moore. And when Moore tried to retrieve the loose ball, he overran it and slipped, and that enabled the Raiders to get their second fumble recovery of the night.
So they're going to start at the 13-yard line. Holy Toledo. Jared, they're going to punch one in, and we might have us our running clock that we were thinking about possibly having.
Raiders just one score away.
Wesley Sanders, hands off to Ambrose Beach on the right-hand side. Ambrose looks like he's got a first down. Close to the goal line, but short. Ambrose Beach is a player, Jared. I've been impressed with him today.
He's done really well for the Raiders this season. Did really well for the Raiders last season as well, just didn't get as many carries as we're seeing tonight.
He's only a junior, 6 foot, 165. Picks up 10 on the carry and moves the sticks. It's 1st and 2 from the goal line. It's the Russell Real Estate Services red zone. And Wesley Sanders gets slammed backwards. And that was big number 70, Ashton Rossler, who body slammed him and threw him back to the ground.
We've seen a lot of hard tackles here tonight by both teams. Another hard one there by Rossler.
I love how the student section plays music in between each snap.
At your home field, you can do whatever you want, pretty
Yeah.
much. We saw the confetti earlier.
Yeah.
Here at Southwest
pretty
General
cool.
Stadium, you can do pretty much anything you want.
Small school football here, Division 6. As we have a touchdown. I don't know who that was, Jared. Was that Hendon?
I believe that was.
Hendon punches it in from 2 yards out. Duke, were you able to see on the replay who that was? Was that Hendon? That's the beauty we have here of the instant replay. Up back, yeah, it's Hendon. All right, Jack Washburn's in. He's been perfect all night. I'm not going to jinx him. I just knocked on wood. And he continues to make it. It's 35-0 now, as we will have a running clock for the rest of the ball game, folks. So it's going to go quick. We'll take a quick timeout. Don't go anywhere, as the Dukies will get the ball. My partner Jared is a lifelong wrestler, so we often talk about food a lot. And I was just telling him how I wanted to grab some more of Mrs. Ward's famous cookies. As Jared used to cut weight all the time and sweat it out to make weight for the wrestling. I don't know how you guys do it, dude.
It's magic. Mágico.
I don't know how you guys do it. I like eating way too much to try to, I guess, not eat. As this ball is going to be touched back into the end zone. And Wellington will get things going here in this third quarter, as we do have the running clock. So once this play goes, it will not stop, even if they go out of bounds, unless there is a timeout, as people are starting to head to the exits here early in this one, as it's 35-0 in favor of Wellington.
We've only seen Trey Moore, the backup quarterback for the Dukes, after taking over for injured Gavin Wacker, throw the ball once. He is a dual threat quarterback, mainly a running back for the Dukes, so we'll see if he tries to air it out here in this one for the Dukes, trying to get their first score of the game.
So Trey Moore tasked with the impossible of running quarterback now because Wacker went down, breaks a tackle, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage as there was a host of people who were there to make the stop for the Raiders.
And that's going to be a first down for the Dukes, I believe. I saw a flag come out. It looked like that first Raiders defender got a hold of the face mask of Moore, and that's exactly what happened as they're moving the chains.
Just got a scoring update from our other stream happening. It's 10-0 in favor of EC, pulling the upset over the Vermilion Sailors.
Upset alert in Lorain County.
EC 0-3, Vermilion 3-0, and right now Panthers with a 10-0 lead in the third quarter.
Vermilion, a playoff team a season ago, and I believe EC had 3 wins last season.
Yeah. Vermilion came in ranked number 14 in the state in Division 4, but in some trouble right now. Trey Moore quarterbacking for Wellington. He's going to spin, toss, and he's got a man. It's complete, but out of bounds. As hauling it in is Landon Beal, but it's going to be incomplete.
Good out route there by Moore, just Beal not able to get the foot in bounds.
So clock now going under 1 minute here in the third quarter. As we mentioned, we had a running clock scenario, so it's going to fly by here the rest of this ball game as Wellington looking to get out of here without losing any more bodies. And I think Columbia is trying to get reps in now for the freshmen and JVers. Trey Moore gets the snap, and he's under duress, thought about throwing it, but then he's swallowed up by Columbia Raiders every which way.
And that was a tough snap taken by Trey Moore because he caught that with his left hand one-handed on the run as well. We've seen Noah Chapelier struggle with the snap here on the Duke's last 2 drives. Moore fortunate enough that wasn't turned over.
So this will be the last, that will be the last snap of the play. I don't think Wellington's planning on running another play as we're under 10 seconds here to go. It's 35-0 in favor of the Raiders. Don't go anywhere. It's the Legacy Home Finance game of the week, and we got 1 more quarter left to go. We'll be right back. $35-0 in favor of Columbia as we're live from Southwest General Stadium. Raiders going to move to 4-0 on the year. Duke's going to drop to 2-2, and they need to get healthy like real fast as they came into tonight's game down some key players in Alex Frank and Bryce Lemcole. And the injuries keep piling up as Gavin Wachter has left as well. But Columbia isn't so lucky either as they lost their starting quarterback on the first series. Logan Mengi went down with an apparent shoulder injury. And we have Wesley Sanders who is in at quarterback. And I could have thought of him as a player of the game, Jared, with coming in and filling in for Logan Mengi, but I guess he's had the luxury of handing it off to a few good running backs in Xavier Hendon and Jose Rivera.
He's done really well under center, taking over for Mengi. He's done even better on defense. He had a pick 6 to start the game. And we'll see if Mengi can come back next week because Columbia is going to have a tough task on the road against Black River.
So 3rd and 17. And this one is complete, but not much there as he is swallowed up, as that was Landon Beal. So no gain on the play. It's 4th and 17 now. It's going to bring up a punting situation as Wellington is at their own 28-yard line.
We've seen Ian Sippo Sutton taking over for Gavin Wacker at punter. He's done pretty well here today for the Dukes. Not as deep punts as the Dukes would like, but he's hitting them straight. And he's got the Raiders in some decent field position.
Punt high, but not very far. Takes a Wellington bounce, and it'll be down at the 45-yard line. As there to down it was number 87, Brady Irwin.
And that took a generous roll. I think if Irwin lets that one go, that would push the Raiders back even more. But we'll see what the Dukes can do on defense to try to stop this high-powered Raiders offense.
What a game here tonight, as it's been all Columbia Raiders and a different slew of running backs as Xavier Hendon, Jose Rivera, Ambrose Beach have all had a night tonight. Throw in Andrew Sorensen and throw in Wesley Sanders pick 6, and here that's where we're at. As Wesley Sanders, the quarterback, keeps it, as they have a lot of pre-snap motion, Jared, that throws the defenders off, and it even throws me off sometimes.
We've seen that a lot from Columbia over the years. That's just Columbia football. You even see that at the junior LC8 level. We see their team do that a lot as well. So that's just Columbia football right there. And it does trick the defense sometimes, as it almost tricked up the Duke's defense right there.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 now for Columbia from the 38-yard line. And here comes the play for Columbia, as that's going to be Patrick Sorensen running the ball now, as I think the main guys are going to be done for the night. As you see Hendon and Rivera and Ambrose, Beach, all on the sidelines here. It's going to be the rest of the JV guys.
Could see Patrick Sorensen get a few carries as well. The brother of Andrew.
Andrew's in there right now, number 11. He scored a touchdown early in the game, and now the pitch. And see who they got there, as we got people on top of each other. Trying to get a number. It's number 19. Is that Ledke? Yeah.
It is Ledke.
Yeah. Peyton Ledke. Columbia's got their JV guys and freshman guys now in, getting some time, as this one is completely out of control, 35-0. And we hope you're enjoying our broadcast of Lorain County Sports Network. Make sure you click, like, follow, and subscribe. It's completely free thanks to our season sponsors all year long. And actually got a new sponsor just this week, as the North Ridgeville Ranger Football Club joined on board. Want to say a special hello to them, as they're going to be sponsoring coverage every week of Ranger football on our stations. So we'd like to welcome everybody from the North Ridgeville Ranger Football Club. Remember, be a friend of the program. Sign up on Facebook at North Ridgeville Rangers Football Club.
Speaking of the North Ridgeville Rangers, Rob Howells, the head coach for the Wellington Dukes, he went to Ridgeville. He graduated there in '06. And if you were listening to the pregame show earlier, he said his favorite moment in his playing career was at Ridgeville in '05 when they defeated Midview in overtime for the conference championship, 21-20.
Wow.
He also coached at North Ridgeville, and he also was a teacher at North Ridgeville as well, too, before coming over to Wellington. And I know that because I was an Ridgeville alum as well, and I saw him in the halls as a teacher.
handoff off the right-hand side. And Andrew Sorensen is the ball carrier, number 11. Picks up some positive yardage there as we're under 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. And next week, Jared, you and I will be in my old stomping grounds, a place considered one of the meccas of football here in Lorain County, one George Daniel Field.
Cleveland Heights and Lorain.
Yep, Lorain, first year in the new Greater Cleveland Conference, as they're taking on former head coach Damian Creel, who is the coach of Euclid now. But we got a good rivalry next week as the Heights Tigers come to town to take on the Lorain Titans, and you can watch it all live and free on our YouTube channel beginning at 6:30. Got some different Columbia Raiders all getting some action now as we're under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of play. Running clock here. Columbia is going to move to 4-0 as they are threatening now, leading 35-0. Ledke gets the pitch. Oh, that's Sorensen. And he recovers it, but he's going to lose yardage and just fall on it and live to fight another day.
That play has worked all night long for Columbia. That's the first time we've seen that pitch backfire on them.
The timing. You could tell it was not on time.
Sorensen didn't motion correctly.
Sorensen was way ahead of that pitch. The pitch was behind him, and it was just a complete mess right there. And that's what happens when you got different guys playing different positions and in right now.
Sorensen didn't have any carries coming into tonight, so he's definitely learning the offense as a running back here in the last minutes of tonight's contest.
Yeah. Andrew's a senior this year.
5'9", 170.
So Columbia calls a timeout with 5 minutes left. And I think there's a lot of teaching going on right now as Mike Rice is buried into the playbook and teaching and still coaching and what he should be doing, even though it's 35-0. It's getting these younger kids some reps right now, and this is what gets you in the playoffs, to have some younger guys more experience, especially during game time.
And what a great second season Mike Rice has had, and overall coaching career for the Raiders this season and last season. Can't wait to see what he does the rest of the way.
Looks like some frustration from the Wellington Dukes sidelines as somebody rifled a water bottle into the track area. If you're watching the replay at home. Keeping us entertained here in this 35-0 ball game. And now what do we got? What do we got? Okay, now they're going.
I think they're waiting for the clock, maybe, and now the flag has been thrown. I am not sure what's going on.
They're going to say illegal motion is what he signaled.
Now they're calling it false start.
Yeah.
Not sure who moved on that.
So we've got a good one for you next week, and we talked about who these teams will be playing, as Wellington will be going back home to play Clearview, and Columbia will be on the road at Black River. Big game going on tonight was Avon at North Ridgeville. We'll see if we can get a score on that game.
That's a big SWC matchup.
Yeah, I think so. I really do.
Right now, Avon is winning 49-7 in the fourth quarter.
Well, there goes that.
Avon, we know how great they are, coming off a state title a season ago. They had a great game in Florida, only lost by a field goal.
Shouldn't have lost. Mike Elder said should not have lost that game, was terribly upset.
And with the rankings coming out, they were ranked 6.
Five in Division II.
5 in Division II.
So they were higher, but that loss dropped them.
And I don't think that's a fair ranking at Avon, because you go out of the state facing a highly contested Florida team.
Who was a state champion in their own right out there in Orlando.
And they got dropped down to 5, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think they should still be number 1.
In a game that they were winning the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. Spruce Creek didn't take the lead until the fourth quarter. Ledke fumbles the ball as the pitch was way too strong from Sanders and off of his face mask. And it's going to be Wellington's ball with 3:30 to go. So, yeah, Avon's the only team ranked right now from Lorain County in the state's top 10 poll. But there are some others that are making some noise. Midview is being one of them, right outside the top 10. Vermilion right outside the top 10, but they're losing tonight against EC. Columbia, a team you're watching, coming in at number 16 in Division 6. So they might possibly be moving up here in the rankings, as I think now the rest of the Raiders are going to get some playing time with the final 3 minutes to go, as you're hearing the student section up on their feet.
Possibly also see the Amherst Comets try to get in those rankings.
Yeah, it was Cy Christensen's first home game at the new Spitzer of Amherst Stadium. Cy Christensen having a big year so far for the Comets, 2-1, entering conference play tonight.
And I think that was the transfer of the offseason, going from Clearview to Amherst. Amherst, they picked up a great quarterback in Cy Christensen.
Big story in the offseason that we, had heard some rumblings and brewings. And once it was confirmed that he had transferred during last season, so that way he wouldn't be penalized this year, and he lives in the district, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways.
We're going to see Clearview back-to-back weeks as well, week 8 and 9 of the season.
As that pass is completed to Dom Wright, number 23, who's a freshman for the Wellington Dukes. And we're at the 2-minute warning here in high school. 3rd and 2. As we thank you for joining us here on your Friday night, wherever you may be. Remember, subscribe, like, and follow. Tell a friend. We cover every high school team in Lorain County at least once. Snap back, and Trey Moore still playing quarterback, and now he's going to be brought down by a couple Raiders as the young Raiders are getting their teeth cut, as that was Kellen Witherspoon in on the tackle. Under a minute to go, Jared. Who are you feeling for player of the game?
I think it's got to be Xavier Hendon. He has a touchdown here tonight, as well as 16 carries for 109 yards. Really the backbone of the running game tonight for the Raiders.
I'm good with it. That's your Zabo Payero player of the game, number 5, Xavier Hendon, as we'll give you his numbers and stats here in under 1 minute as we head into our Spitzer Auto World postgame show. Remember, you can listen to all the action on the radio as the guys are at the Radio Ranch breaking down, talking to the coaches and players from tonight's games all around Lorain County, not just here. So if you want to tune into that, you can. Go to WOBLradio.com or WDLWradio.com. You can also go to 98.9 FM or 107.7 FM. We do have AM stations as well, 1320 or 1380. Tons of ways you can listen to your favorite radio station here in Lorain County. Probably final play. Trey Moore drops back, throws, got a man. It's caught. No way. There's your boy Kinzer.
I told you they had to get him involved, and that's exactly what they do. A 48-yard touchdown pass from Trey Moore to Connor Kinzer.
Connor Kinzer on the last play of the game.
That shows the fight in the Wellington Dukes. Not giving up, continuing into the final second of this game. They should be proud of themselves in this final drive, getting on the scoreboard.
Kinzer comes up clutch, as my partner was just talking about it. I like Kinzer's face mask. He's got that mirror face mask. I don't know if you guys checked it out. Pretty cool looking. And they're going for 2, which is surprising in itself. Trey Moore drops back. He's going to throw again. And this one's knocked down. And that one is probably going to be the end of the game if there's 6 seconds left. So big touchdown pass there from Trey Moore to Connor Kinzer. And it puts Wellington on the board with just 6 seconds left. It cost Columbia their 3rd shutout in 4 games, bro. Did you realize that?
I did.
And the press box here in Columbia was not very happy about that touchdown that was just given up. And I get it. I know why. So that's going to be the end of it. They're not even going to kick it off as we get you into our Spitzer of Amherst post-game show. We'll take a quick break. We'll give out some awards, and then we'll get out of here and get you ready for your Friday night. Don't go anywhere. It's Lorain County Sports Network, and it's the Legacy Home Finance Game of the Week. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Spitzer Auto World post-game show live from Columbia Station as the Raiders take care of business and remain perfect at 4-0, winning 35-6 tonight against Wellington as they are on the field, and we are getting ready to crown our Zabel Apparel Player of the Game, which is none other than Xavier Hendon, number 5. The running back tonight was the bell cow and the workhorse, as we have stats to go over, courtesy of our friend Al Januzzi, CPA. It's all about the numbers. Jared, you have them. Let's hear them.
For the Columbia Raiders, all rushing tonight, 39 rushes for 267 yards, thanks to rushing touchdowns by Andrew Sorensen. He had a 2-yard touchdown run. Jose Rivera, he had 2 touchdown runs, 1 for 3 yards and 1 for 10 yards. Xavier Hendon, he had a 2-yard touchdown run, and Hendon on the day, 16 carries for 109 yards. As for the Wellington Dukes, Trey Moore, when he came into play, Moore 4 carries, or 4 completions out of 9, and a touchdown pass for 48 yards to Connor Kinzer, and that was it.
And what about the other team? Did you go over both teams?
Yes, I did.
All right, perfect. So our player of the game is Xavier Hendon, the running back for Columbia. He's going to get him a cool T-shirt courtesy of Zabo Apparel in Vermilion. Go and check them out. Our drive of the game, Jared, could be a lot of them because, well, they scored a lot. Any scoring drive really stick out to you?
I think scoring play.
Yeah, what scoring play stuck out to you?
I think it was Sanders' pick 6. I think that's what really stood out and really build momentum for Columbia for this game tonight.
And I'm going to go with the drive of the game is going to be the first one, which was a 2-yard touchdown run by Andrew Sorensen. Mrs. Ward bringing us cookies. Yes, we love them. We love your cookies, Mrs. Ward. Thank you so much. As we get some,
take the whole plate.
we get some sweets before we get out of here. Mrs. Ward wants her plate back. Thank you so much. Happy belated birthday as well. You're welcome. And we're going over the drive of the game, courtesy of Valley Chevrolet in Wellington. It's going to be that first one. It was only a 2-play scoring drive after the turnover from Wellington, and it was Andrew Sorensen from 2 yards out who got things started with the first touchdown of the night. That'll be our drive of the night, courtesy of Valley Chevrolet. So next week we'll be in Lorain as Cleveland Heights takes on the Titans. Make sure you tune into our post-game show, courtesy of Spitzer Auto World, right now on the radio and on Facebook. Just go to WOBL, WDLW Sports on Facebook, and you can check it out live. Want to say thank you to Ben on camera, super producer Duke, my partner back from his duties on the Diamond, Jared Viancourt, and I'm Dave Rivera. Thank you so much for joining us here live from Southwest General Stadium. Good night from Columbia Station. We'll see you next week.